Hey, yo. What's up, guys?
Hey, Leighton.
What's up?
What's going
Hello.
on?
Hey.
All right. Hey, we got a lot of people today. What's up, everybody? Looks like it's 12:03. So let's get started. If you guys can put your name down on the attendees list. We're taking roll calls right now. Also, Diego, how come your name is always like formatted differently? It's actually hilarious.
What do you mean formatted differently?
Like on the sign-in list, the attendees list, it's always like you copy and pasted or something from somewhere.
Really?
Yeah. Am I the only one that's seeing that? Or,
No, it has a deep link to your email.
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't know why. Yeah, let me.
What's going on with Knob
Oh,
Source?
Knob
Knob
Source
Source CR.
New company.
Yeah. It's Diego's hacker accounts, man.
No. What happens is that that was an email that I had when I worked for another company many years ago, and I think I hit tab to autocomplete, and when I hit tab and autocomplete, it replaced it with that.
Nice. Cool. Hey, Srikanth, is this your first time joining the Python SIG, or am I tripping? Yes, no.
I attended a few times.
Oh, sorry. Yeah, just didn't. Yeah, my bad. All right, cool.
Leighton is tripping.
Yeah, I am tripping, yo.
In your own words.
Yeah. Okay, let's just get started then. Dan, someone moved Thanksgiving to the front, so I guess I think we're planning to, since a lot of us folks are from the States, have a Thanksgiving next week, so we're planning to probably cancel next week's meeting. So don't join, guys. No one's gonna be there. So that's pretty much it.
Oh,
Yeah. All right. Anything that's next? Okay. So in terms of the contrib stuff, that whole workflow, I'm pretty sure everything is like on track. I can refer to Nathaniel to talk more about that. But I think we're all like confidently already merging stuff into contrib and everything now. So I think everything is good. Nathaniel, any words about that, like regarding that?
No, I appreciate everyone's help, especially reviewing the last few PRs, getting all the testing stuff set up, and at least right now we have a good example with as far as PR to fix contrib. It's a good example. We can talk about it today on how you would create a change that crosses both repos.
Awesome, cool. Oh shit, I'm actually not sharing my screen. Let me do that real quick. Do we want to just do that right now, real quick? Just
Yeah, I think it'd be a good idea.
Oh, do you want to share your screen then, or if that's the case? Just to
Sure.
give them an example of how to do that. Yeah.
I can share my screen.
Awesome. Cool.
You guys see my screen?
Yeah.
Sweet. So I'll go to as far as PR. I don't know, did it get it's here. Sweet. So it just needs one more approval from someone to check it. But as you can see in this PR, it was a really simple change on the core repo. All he had to do was basically change the API to meet the specs. And it got a lot of approvals and it got merged. The other thing is that, like, totally fair to Ashfar and everyone reviewing, is that like, he ran all these things and on the test said everything was good because it was on the core side. But on the contrib side, when he changed the API to instead of meter be accumulator, then on the contrib side here, many of the APIs that were calling it meter were failing now because they should have been updated to be accumulator. So he acted really quickly, and yesterday he went through and he changed all of these things. And most importantly, he did this. On the contrib repo, the workflow checks out a commit on the core repo commit history. So if I were to go to the core repo right now and look at the history on the master branch, you can see that this is where his change got merged in, but the contrib tests were still passing because it was pointing to a commit before his changes. But if it were to point to his change, it would break. But now he needed his changes to the actual calls to the API to be able to pass the test with the most recent commit. So that's what he did. He changed all the things, and then he didn't even just take his commit. He took the most recent thing on master, which was this commit here. And then this workflow knew to check out the core repo at that point, run the tests against it, and then all the tests passed. So that's the only thing that you have to do now. If you have a change on core that breaks contrib, you'd come here to contrib, you'd make the change, and you'd point it to as recent as a commit as possible. It should be the most recent one that you can see, because otherwise something's wrong. But if you can do that, then all the tests would pass. So to guard against something like this, that's why we have right now this PR in core to add these tests to the core repo PRs. So what this will do is literally copy and paste the tests that are being run on contrib and put it into the core repo, so that if Ashfar were to make this PR today, or if anyone in the future makes it, it will just run all the tests as contrib and tell you the state of, like whether your PR would break contrib or not. If you're good and you don't need to make any changes to PR, all these tests will pass and we can merge it, no problem. If it does break, it won't be like a merge blocker. It'll be just an indication, a warning to you that say, hey, by the way, this is going to break contrib and it's going to be broken until someone goes and fixes it. So as you can see, that's the difference between the regular build test, which are required, versus a contrib build, which is not required. So this PR is broken right now because we need to get the as far's change in contrib. As soon as that happens, all you'd have to do is just rerun this test and it would work. As you can see right now, it points to master, but master doesn't have his changes yet. But the second it does, this PR will be able to pass. The rest of this, I just did some interesting fixes here that we needed to do, but overall, it's really simple now. So yeah, as soon as we get this merging, we'll be protected against that kind of thing. And I added a comment here on how to clone the things and get it all to run locally. The last thing I wanted to mention was, you notice here that this contrib repo SHA points to master. Like I mentioned, this is important to know that core is running against contrib just fine. The workflow of this is specified in contributing.md for anyone who wants to read it. It would be in this file here under how to get these merged in if you make a contrib test pass as well. But just briefly, I'll mention it to you that of all these steps, this is the only step that it's just a sanity check. It's not something that you have to do to get it merged in, or you might want to do for the maintainer's sake so they understand what's going on. But this will point to master. But if you are making a change that affects both contrib and core, you'd put up both those PRs at that moment. Your core test will still fail because by default, this points to master. On those situations, you would change that SHA to point to your PR in contrib. Once it does, this PR will go green and so will the other one. The workflow is we would merge the contrib PR first because that's the only one that's pointing to a commit at every time. Once that one gets merged, then you could rerun this one and prove that again for the second time tests pass, and then they can merge it confidently. But the idea is that this one should always stay at master. The only one that should be changing is the contrib one. You would change this in your current changes when you make the PR so that you can prove to the maintainers before anything gets merged that, look, both the contrib and the core are green. But once you've proved that they're both green, the contrib can get merged and this one can go back to being master so that this isn't a change that is affected. So this line isn't affected from a change from your PR. So it's just a sanity check. You don't have to actually change this line. It's just for the maintainers. But that's it. Does anyone have any questions?
So I know we talked about this yesterday, Nathaniel, but I just wanted to reiterate to everyone here. So the workflow, my opinion, there's always that interim state of like danger, of riskiness, of like potential blocking other PRs where one PR is merged, whether it be on core or repo, and the other one isn't, right? That's technically a breaking state, right? From Nathaniel's like what he was talking before, he wants people to merge the contrib PR first and then the core repo. My understanding was to merge the core one first actually, and then finish up with the contrib repo. And a number of reasons for this, core, like in terms of like importantness, I guess, or like blocking things, like I don't mind if like, honestly, like in the contrib repo, it's like slower velocity, right? For the core stuff, we really don't want to block anyone. And we want to have PRs constantly being merged in. So core should always be in like a complete building state with all of the latest changes. Just like in the example for as far as what's it called? PRs, right? Like his metrics changes got merged in and it's totally fine now. Like then everyone can like work on his changes and no one is blocked for core. It's only the contrib repo that was like left in like this interim state. But like if we did this in reverse, then like people who were waiting on that accumulator change, like, you know, cannot do anything, right? So I guess that's like my kind of reasoning. I'm open to like discussion for this, but like it's kind of not such a huge deal. But you know, as for like the experience or like the workflow, I feel like it makes more sense. So what do you guys think?
I agree. I think core first makes sense to me as well. Yeah, I think you articulated the points quite well.
Yeah, definitely. It's also, I think, important to also make sure that Tux runs locally also well, because
Right.
yeah, I had some issues with this. Try to fix it. I guess the environment that is used in CI is not exactly equivalent to the one that somebody has before in the local computer.
Right.
I guess I'll reiterate the points I mentioned too yesterday. So like we mentioned, the tests for contrib are not blocking on core. So as far as anyone making a PR in core will be able to move along freely. They'll be able to merge PRs and make changes and everything. The only thing that the test will then serve as a purpose of is like, hey, by the way, like right now core is fine. You can build and use core. It's just contrib is broken right now. And that'll be like a flag on every PR, but it won't block any of the PRs. It will just remind them like, hey, you should fix it. But the only place where things are being blocked is on contrib, because, excuse me, when you have a merge on contrib and contrib points to a commit on core, then a subsequent PR needs to have the change of contrib to be able to go forward. So there is a blocking thing there. I'm worried. I haven't thought it through completely, but I think if we switch it, then that blocking behavior would shift to core, and that's what we don't want, right?
Well, if we just take it as far as PR, for example, right?
Mhm.
Like changes that rely on as far as PR would cannot go in like as fast, right? If we have to merge contrib first. Like because right now, like if someone were to work on the core repo, like we don't care about contrib, right? Like only the
Mhm.
maintainers and like the people using the instrumentations care about that. But mostly the maintainers, right? Like we just want to maintain a non-breaking state. But for like people who are just want to contribute to core, like why should I care that the contrib repo is breaking, right? Like I still want to add changes to this new metrics thing that I really need, right?
Mhm.
And that's kind of the mindset.
This way, but you can, right? You can make a change to like, let's say Osfire and like 10 other people make a change to the core repo. There's no problem with that. It's just a flag right now to tell the maintainers, by the way, this is going to need a change in the contrib.
Oh no,
It's
I'm not
not.
talking about blocking as if like the tests are failing. I'm talking about
Mhm.
like the speed at which his PR is finished, right? Will be dependent on this ordering now, right? Like we just want the velocity of core because that matters more, right, than the velocity of contrib.
But why, sorry, I don't understand. Why would the speed be affected? Like you can merge it and no problem, right?
What do you mean?
You can merge the core PR without a problem.
No, but like the ordering that you said, you got to merge contrib first, and then you merge your core. And this is like you got to be thinking like
Mhm.
from the perspective of like a random user, right? Like not one of us experienced people who will probably merge both immediately, right? From like a random user, like the turnaround for even one PR could be a week, right?
I see, like to get it in green.
Yes, imagine what it's like for a random person to have to figure out this whole workflow, merge one of the PRs in contrib, and then like what if they, like we there's no guarantee, there's no SLA on like their turnaround time for core's PR, right? So like I much rather for them to get core green so that like, the important changes, the things that are actually breaking others go in,
Mhm.
rather than the things that will fix in the contrib repo and then like potentially they might not even come back, right? So you gotta think realistically.
So the only thing that we could change, I get it now what you're saying. Like say this is on master, right? Let's say
Yeah.
we change this to be an actual commit. Either way, it's gonna break the tests, right? Either you're pointing to an old commit or you're pointing to master. If you have a change, a breaking change in core, and we merge this PR, which is to add the contrib tests are always gonna break, no matter
Yes.
what.
Yeah.
So I get like you could merge contrib first before core, but like they're kind of like one in the same, right? In 2 weeks ago they were the exact same PR always, and that's still the case like 1 week from now. It's just you have to merge them both at the same time. Whether you merge core first and then contrib, it shouldn't be a big deal, right?
Yeah, I know the results are the same, but like in terms of
Mhm.
execution, like, you know, 2 PRs is always more overhead, even if it is like
Yeah, I agree.
identical changes, right?
I guess I can't even I can't speak to it. And like we talked about yesterday, we haven't even tried it, I would say, at this point. So I think it's at least an easy fix to switch it the other way around if we hate it.
Yeah,
And
I think that's
can
a
get it
good
right.
point. Yeah.
Okay, cool.
Anyways, yeah, don't want to spend too much more time on this, but yeah, good job for this. So let's just try to get this PR, or at least sorry, as far as PRs in, so you can pass this one.
Yep. Sounds
Cool.
good.
Nice. I can take the screen again.
Yes.
All right. Okay, talking about the next release, Alex, you want to talk about this a bit?
Yeah, I guess I just wanted to ask people if there was I just wanted to get a sense of if people wanted to get a release before the RC1, or if there was anything that people were waiting on that they needed shipped like this week. I know, Nathaniel, you'd put a question in Gitter around whether or not we were planning on doing a release. And I am happy to do that. I just wanted to see if there was like any urgency or whatever.
Like I mentioned in Gitter, I'd appreciate a release right now just to be able to we're thinking of shipping something soon, and so we wanted to test something that we can download from PyPy. But like, and that's why I'm totally available this week to help you, especially with the contrib stuff, release it. I guess if there's anything that I'd want to see it'd be Oasis PR for the automatic auto instrumentation PR.
Right.
I looked at it and Diego looked at it, and it looks really, really useful. And so that's the only comment I'd have to merge that one, and then I can help you with the release if that's cool.
Yeah, I think what's it called? I think the debate was because we're still missing 2 PRs to go in for RC1 and that are open right now, that are close to being merged. And also always PR needs one more reviewer as well. So realistically, I don't know if we can get it in this week, but if there is an urgency for it, like we would have to try to push it for next week. That's only if we want to get all those changes in. But if that doesn't really matter, then and if you really need the release to do something, then we could try to get in this week. But if this week and next week it doesn't really matter to you, then I would suggest us wait till next week.
Is the only change that you're waiting for in both contrib and the core repo the change that OA has open, Nathaniel, or?
Yeah, I'm sorry. I'm not necessarily like waiting for it either. Like I'd appreciate just a release now, but I'm just suggesting as a whole. Like I think Oasis change. It's been open for a month, I think, at this point, and so
Yeah, it is.
it's a good change, and he simplified it a lot, and so we don't have to get it in either way, but I think it'd be a good idea to get it in, and maybe some people will download it and test it out and give feedback on whether they like it or not.
All right. So then we can just all right, Alex, how about we just release this week, and then not be the RC1 release, and then we'll just do the RC1 release 2 weeks from now or 3 weeks from now, because we still have to get that span ID thing changed too, like the recently added feature for the feature matrix. So
Oh shoot.
I think that'd be okay.
Yeah, that's fine. I'll just call this whatever 0. Is it 16 or?
Yeah, 16.
Yep. You got it.
All right, sounds good.
Cool.
All right, next, the docs GitHub action. Just
Oh yeah. Do you want to bring up the docs GitHub action? Because I wanted to talk about it briefly. So I noticed this I don't know, a few weeks ago when this was first broken. And then I revisited when I saw that it was still broken this week. I don't know why we have this action. It's currently what it's doing is it's publishing a GitHub site for our repo, which it's there, but I don't know why it exists because I think it was created before the read the docs documentation existed. And I guess my question was, does anybody care about this GitHub Actions page? And if the answer is no, then we should just delete this task because it's duplicate effort and it's also like intermittently broken. So
Yo, where did you find the link for the GitHub IO thing or the?
here, I can probably just figure out where it is. I found it in the settings. If you scroll down in here, there's like
I
yeah,
see.
GitHub pages right there.
Right.
Like I'm not even sure if anybody else knows this existed. So
Yeah. So I guess a bit kind of history. It's like we initially were using this for our docs, and then we started using read the docs. But I don't know if this is left because someone needed it, or if it's because we just forgot to clean it up. So, if no one in the chat right now has like actively been using this, or like has a reason, or like why this should be here, I think the plan is for us to. I think we'll remove this action, and if anyone complains about it, then we'll just add it back. So.
Sorry,
Which
where
one
did
action
you
is
know?
it?
I just
The
wanted
last
to-
one?
Wait, sorry, what?
When I was just looking through repo, I found this. And I thought those were the actual docs. Well, where are the new docs or whatever we're using now?
Oh, they're hosted on Read the Docs. Is there a link to that? Where do we find that? Alex, do you know?
yeah, I think it's in the README.
Right.
Yeah, it should be under API documentation.
Wait, no. Whoops.
No, just go back to the README. It's at the top of the README.
Oh, the top of the README?
Yeah, it's
I
next
see.
to getting started.
Yeah. Here. Yep.
Okay. What?
Yo, it looks like exactly the same.
Yeah, the only difference is one of them has versioning, which is actually kind of broken.
Okay, I was
yeah.
using the right docs then. They just look the same. I didn't realize.
Yeah, they just look exactly the same. All right, cool. We'll just do that.
All right, I'll just delete it then. Thanks.
Okay, cool. Shevnik, you got a little entry here. You want to talk about that?
Just a small question because I was just trying to make sure my generated files don't get linted, and I thought it was simple because I saw like all the other generated files were in a file called pyproject.tlml to be excluded.
Yeah.
But when I actually changed that and then I pushed, it's still getting linted. So I'm just confused how that's actually run. So, like, if anyone knows quickly off the top, otherwise I guess I'll just look into it more.
This is what you were talking about for the proto buff stuff, right?
Protobufs. I saw the other protobuf paths were inside this file to be excluded in both the contrib and the core repo.
And you said this is not working for you?
When I made the push, it's still getting linted. So
Interesting.
does it have to be like, does this actually get merged for it to stop getting linted or something?
The linting is
I think-
done via the
so-
HT script, if I'm not mistaken.
Sorry, Mark, can you say that again?
The linting is done by the each disk this script, if I'm not mistaken. So I
Yeah,
think it's in the
but
docs in
yeah, does it take into account the project.tml file though?
I'm
I
not
don't
sure.
remember.
It should be the
Yeah.
each disk.
Yeah, I saw it mentioned in the HDist script.
Yeah, it's yeah, I'm not really too familiar with like the ignores and like how to work with those things, but if anyone else knows how to ignore certain paths for, is it all kinds of linting? Like not, you don't want any of them to be checked?
I think there's an ini file for this script where you can exclude stuff.
Right.
It should be in the
Yeah, I would say
repo.
this script I've like had a lot of wrestling with it over the last few weeks. There's a
Right.
lot of like fancy stuff. For lint, we run like 4 different lints. We run like black and flake and pylint and
Yes.
isort. So I would definitely recommend like just sitting down and reading through this one. And there's someone, Rob Knox, I don't know if he's on the call, but he had to exclude some generated stuff. So I'll ping you with his alias on Gitter and maybe you can talk to him, but it should be able to pass without getting it to merge. is what I would say.
Okay,
So
sounds good. Because I was trying excluding them individually, then I realized like I was excluding it from Black or from Violent, and then all the others are running and it's still failing. So then I
yeah,
thought,
Linton is like a big headache, I would say.
all
Yeah.
at once.
I think this script needs to be like redone in terms of just making it cleaner. Like it does a lot of good stuff, but it's a lot to read.
Yeah. Okay. Cool. Thanks for that. Does anybody else have any other topics that they want to talk about before we go into PRs? All right, cool. Alex and I have already gone through this one. We don't really have to talk about this one. But yeah. Right. It looks like Diego has some requests for changes for this, and it's also blocking on use case comments. Diego, do you know if Rashmi has addressed your comments? Actually, it looks like she hasn't, or he hasn't. I don't really know. Worked on this recently, so yeah, we could talk about this. Maybe give it a week or something.
Don't think.
Yeah, I don't think they have.
Yep.
Yeah, changed. Okay,
They
cool.
are.
Nice.
Yep.
Awesome. All right, next up. All right, this is Away's infamous.
VPR.
Yeah, this PR.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think we assigned Diego and Alex to it, but we have this policy of like you can't be from the same company like approve it. So if anybody else wants to pick this up, this PR is kind of like more than almost 2 months old. So it'd be great if we can get someone to look at this. And get
I
this
approved it.
Oh, yeah, Daniel approved it, but he's not an approver, so
Not yet.
not a whole lot we could actually do about that.
Let's make him an approver.
Yeah, just make him an
That'd be nice.
approver.
Yeah.
Just for this PR.
Just for this
No,
one.
for real. No, for real.
Oh, that'd
I
be
think-
nice.
I think we have a guideline for the approvers thing. We'll have to revisit it if we want to make approvers. So, yeah.
I'm also happy to take a look at this. I know we have the policy of not having like two people from the same org approving it, but since this was written by someone else, I think I'm okay with skipping that. If
Okay.
everybody else feels comfortable with it.
Yeah, sounds good. Cool. Nice. All right, up next. Oh, damn, Alex and Aaron. Holy shit. Right. So this is like for like the Zipkin Explorer stuff that was required for RC1. It is kind of on like the lower, sorry, not RC1. We don't actually know when this is needed, but it's in the feature matrix, so it's required for GA. So yeah, we kind of just, need eyes on this. It looks like Alex and Aaron are assigned to this, so if you guys can get to it when you can, that'd be great.
Yeah, I can also take a look at it if that helps.
Sure. Yeah. Diego, want me to assign you then?
Yeah, sure.
Nice. Oh, Aaron's not even here today. I'm just talking to myself. What the hell? You guys didn't say anything.
The rest of us are here.
Yeah, I'm just like, yo, Aaron, you
Yeah,
should
we're
work on this.
listening. It's just we're just like silently agreeing with you.
Yeah. Oh, cool. Same thing here, but yeah. Yo, Away, you're so sneaky. So sneaky with it, man. Nice. Okay, so we got this. The test just needs to be fixed. So this Rob guy, he's been pretty on point with the changes lately, so I think I'm not going to ping him just yet. So yep, it's good. Oh, Nathaniel's PR. Oh, it's just, yeah. So I guess what was the thing that you're blocked on? Is it something
Actually,
contrib?
it was as far as PR and contrib, but Alex just merged it a few minutes ago, and everyone's doing stuff while you're talking.
Guess just doing it while I'm talking. All right. Okay,
But-
so I guess this will be quickly merged already. So I guess you can just get that in.
Yes, it's as soon as this test passes, we can get it in. All the tox commands will be good to go.
Why wait? Merge it now.
Merge it now. There's only 2 checks
No,
remaining.
this button's literally red, man. I don't like that. I don't like doing that.
I should have put it lower down in the list so that it had
You guys-
time. I'll
you
just put
guys-
it again.
Yeah.
Where did this get here?
Keep adding it.
Yeah.
Push our
In-
agenda. Oh my
In
god.
issues.
You guys have never seen this button before, eh? It's like it's a death button.
No, we never see it.
Oh, what the fuck? This is. Why do I even add these stuff? I don't know. I don't even know, man. Okay. Oh, nice. Cool. Yeah, Diego, thanks for adding this. Looks like it's just some changes requested from Alex. Oh, looks like you responded to it. I guess
Yeah, this is just on me to
Yeah,
follow
cool.
up on.
Awesome, thanks. And lastly, oh yeah, this is something that I put up. This is part of the, it's like super simple. So like my exception recording convergence PR was merged like a week ago. I just forgot to add the is recording for this. So yeah, if someone can just like approve this, that'd be great. It's then it'll just finally close this issue. So yep. Oh, and it should be merged after this contrib repo one because I'm removing this OTel status code that we're only using for the request instrumentation, which is a field is wrong. Like we're not utilizing this field at all. And I'm deleting that in here. So yeah, if someone can take a look at that, that'd be great. It's like literally a 1-line change. So cool. Let me add that in here too. Nice. All right, does anyone else have any other PRs that they want to look at real quick? If not, then we can.
I have a quick one. Sorry, I probably should have added it earlier. It's just to update all the links in the
Oh, right, I saw that.
repo.
I think I already approved that. Oh, is it this?
Actually, maybe it got merged.
Yeah, I'm like the ones that where you change like 40, 50 files, right? To change all the names
Yeah.
to. Yeah, that's already merged.
Okay, sweet. Everyone's sneaky today.
Yeah.
Yeah, 3 hours ago. Okay, thanks.
Yeah. Nice. Okay.
Hey, I
cool.
did have a question about that PR.
This one?
No, the one that we were just talking about. Can you bring it up? It's the
It's 176 if you want to. Oh yeah, that works too. Update package links.
I noticed that the read the docs was changed as well, right? For the instrumentations. Is that if you keep scrolling down, I just find one that has like a read the docs link or whatever. Yeah, this one. Is this what we had talked about doing? I just want to make sure that this was the plan for where we wanted the Python contrib packages to exist. Like, are we using read the doc to publish it, or I wasn't
No.
clear? I think from our last discussion.
No, we don't use it. I put it in the description of the PR that there is no read the docs build right now, but like they're both broken links anyways, right? The other one was there's nothing there, and this one doesn't point to anything right now. But when we build it, this is where it would be, right? So this is just kind of like a precursor to that.
Okay.
So the follow-up to this would be just to modify like the tox build for the contrib repo, right?
Just to add the read the docs build and the
Yeah.
docs.yaml file.
All right, cool.
Mhm.
Can you make a issue for that actually? So
Yeah.
I don't forget.
I'll make an issue and
Yeah.
link it here.
Yeah. Cool. Awesome. Thanks.
Mhm.
Look at this.
One in progress check.
Look at this shit. It's always PyPy too. Holy yeah. Anyways, cool. I think that's pretty much it for the PRs. There's like a few open that I think people are like having a discussion over. Yep. Sounds good. All right. We can talk about these issues then. Oh, right. Yeah, we linked this because I needed to assign myself this thing. So
I think somebody objected.
yeah, yo, this guy is actually like, what the fuck? Alex, you want to talk about this guy? Your friend?
Oh, I don't know how this happened. It was like I opened the issue and then 1 minute later this comment showed up with no, and then the sad face showed up on the.
Oh my god, yo, sad face.
I wasn't. Yeah, I don't know. I'll probably follow up, or maybe do you want to follow up and just like
Follow
ask
up?
like, do you have any?
He just joined GitHub a month ago.
I know.
Yeah,
Not be a real account.
yeah.
Very
That's
professional.
that's kind of what I was wondering. Like, is it a real account or?
Dude, this guy is definitely a troll. Like, look at this. Look at this activity. You see this right here? That's him just making an account to make it look real, but it's not.
But who will do this? I mean, who trolls?
GitHub.
He's literally waiting for us to post a new issue.
I mean, out of all the issues to troll, it seems like it's
exactly right.
not the best of issues. Like I would have trolled something to do with, I don't know.
Troll
Yeah.
always
Feature
PR, man.
requests.
Yeah. Okay.
There's so many things to say about politics and stuff, and somebody
Yeah,
trolls here. Yeah.
exactly.
Still waiting for this one.
Is it still waiting? Yeah, okay. All right, so I put this issue here, but like Aaron's actually not here. So I guess we could talk about this next week or 2 weeks from now. Lastly, oh wait, I think you put this up.
Yeah, so this is a pretty big issue actually, because this actually breaks Django when used with Postgres.
Bro, you got
which
5 thumbs up. That's crazy.
Yeah, that's quite popular. So is Hector here? Maybe I can get some ideas from him. So it looks like I haven't looked into it in detail, but looks like this will require a major rework of the instrumentation.
Right.
And I'm at this point I'm thinking it might be easier to just take open tracing PsychoPG instrumentation and just replace this with open tracing one, because that I know that works and doesn't have this issue.
Okay.
So if no one has any concerns with that, then I'll assign this to myself and get to work on that.
Yeah, I think that sounds good to me. Like,
okay.
I think when he originally implemented it, he was just taking the open census instrumentation.
Yeah.
But yeah. Did you talk to him offline about this?
We did start. I did start a discussion. I think we talked very briefly, but we didn't come to any conclusion.
Okay, sounds good. Yeah, then I'm okay with that change. Unless if anyone else has any objections to that. All right, cool. Oh, wait, is it cool if I assign you?
Yeah, sure.
All right, sounds good.
All right, thank you.
Nice. All right, cool. Does anybody else have any other stuff they want to talk about? Some problems or stuff that blocked on?
I just had a quick question, if that's okay. One of the things I know, I looked at that right now. I have no idea what's wrong. But
that's fairly common. I mean, PyPy 3.
Yeah.
I've seen that failing several times. Just
okay, but it's yeah.
Sometimes you just run it again and it passes.
Transient tests, man. I don't even know what's going on here. Sorry, Nathaniel, you were saying?
I just had a quick question. One of the tasks I have to do next is I have to evaluate the instrumentation we have for DB and SQL packages on Python. And I guess we were just talking about one of them with Postgres. And just wondering like what you guys think is the state of instrumentation of popular Python packages. Like I saw the SQL Alchemy one has some basic instrumentation, but I don't know what you guys have seen, if it's good right now.
What do you mean by the state?
Like, I guess I'm fairly new to Python too, and just wondering, like, are the popular packages instrumented, and are they like up to specs for what attributes need to be traced and have propagators initialized and stuff?
Yo, good question.
I don't know if
I mean,
anyone knows off the top of their head.
there is an issue right now.
Mhm.
I put down a bunch of issues to like make our instrumentations, you know, semantically follow the semantic conventions for the for the specs. And shit, am I in the right? Nope. And like, yeah, like that's what we're using to track that. So, in terms of the popular libraries, like this is what people have been contributing so far. So people are definitely like interested in using it. But in terms of like, they've just like dropped in and added the instrumentations, so they don't not all of them necessarily follow the specs right now, which is why we have the you know like like the specific fix the instrumentations to match the semantic convention tasks, to like just go through a pass of the instrumentations and then like, or the ones that you're interested in, and make sure that they do adhere to the specs. So
got it. Yeah. Okay, yeah. I'm gonna go through and look specifically at the SQL stuff, and then I might put PRs to either
that's
fix or
fine.
add new ones.
I think someone was working on the DB ones.
Okay.
Yes, Leighton. I am. So I created a PR for PyMemcache and Redis. They got merged.
Right.
And
Yeah. I remember that.
Nice.
async PG1 is it's in still review stage.
Awesome.
So like
Cool,
I
cool.
started working on DB API part and its dependencies. So I should be I'll be
Awesome.
able to create a PR by tomorrow.
Okay, that's great.
That's really cool. Thanks. I'll look out for those.
Yeah, thanks a lot, man. You're not blocked on that or anything, right? Like,
No, I'm not blocked.
okay, cool. Sounds good. Nice. Anyone has any other questions or topics?
Oh, well, I just wanted to say good job to all the maintainers, because I've seen in the last few months a lot of new contributions from new people. So I guess this project is seen like a project where you're welcome to contribute. So bringing other people in is always great. So
Yeah, that's crazy, right? Yeah, thanks, man. It's this thing actually matters. Who knew? So yeah.
I remember when months ago when we were just always the same people.
Bro, I remember that. Like, I don't know if you guys remember, but like our calls were down to like 4 people at one point. It was like me, Aaron, Diego, and Alex. And they were like, all right, guys, who wants to take this on? And like dead silence. And then I'm just like, all right, on to the next task. So yeah, that was pretty much it. So okay, cool. So if there are no other topics, I guess we can end it early today. And I will see you guys in 2 weeks.
See you all in 2 weeks.
All right.
Good.
Later, guys.
Thanks, everyone.
Hear you in 2 weeks.